I'm going to tell you guys today why this bike is kind of boring. Cue the intro. What's up guys, Sean here from Srkcycles.com, and I'm with a 2009 Kawasaki Nomad. Looking at the bike, I love driving these things, but to be honest with you, there's nothing that exciting about the bike. Nothing that really gets you. It's got no giant LED nav screen. It has no radio, no GPS, nothing super unusual, super unique to talk about. It's just a 830-pound bike. It's a 1700 cc's. It's a 6-speed transmission. It is water cooled. But the one super awesome, unique feature about this bike is that everything that it does extremely well. Now, just to clear up a little bit of a confusion of what the Nomad is, amongst Kawasaki's Vulcan 1700 line, they have 4 different bikes. They got the Classic, which is just like this, but does not have hard bags. They've got the Nomad, which is just like this. They've got the Vaquero, which has hard bags and has an upper with a radio and stuff. The big upper fairing painted. And then they have the Voyager, which has the bags, the upper fairing, also the lower fairings. The Vaquero might have lower fairings, and then also the Tour Pack. That's the difference. Not everybody wants a bike that has all those gadgets and gizmos and it's always upgrading and you need new stuff all the time. Not everyone wants a bike like that. So not everybody wants the comfort and the technology of their car on their bike. Some people just want a bike, and what this bike does extremely well is it's easy. Everything about it is easy. The performance, the handling, the turning is easy. The maintenance is easy. Just hopping on this bike and sitting on it, it's just the perfect position, and it just makes riding motorcycle just easy again. In 20 years, 30 years, 40 years from now, you're not gonna have all these outdated radios and gizmos and GPS units. You're just gonna have a basic bike, which, we ride bikes from 50 years ago, and they don't have like 8-track players and record players in there, because if they did, they'd be stupid. This bike will last. This bike will stand the test of time, which is kind of why I love it. And what this bike really does is it takes the emphasis off the bike and puts it back on the ride, that's why we do it. It's not necessarily about the bike. It's the doors that having a bike opens us up to. And honestly, that's why I love this bike. I think the Nomad is a beautiful bike. And let's go take a first spin. All right, guys, let's test drive this thing. And before we test drive, let's do the words of wisdom from Philippians 4:7. And the peace of God, which surpasses all comprehension, will guard your heart and your mind in Jesus Christ. Almost dropped my phone. All systems go. Now, I remember the first time that's the first time. All right, so let me explain this. Let me explain to you a little bit more about why I love this bike. They are really fun to drive, and they look like big bikes. They've got some decent weight behind them, but when you ride it, it feels like the lightest thing out there. I mean, it really just throws itself into the corners. The power, you still have a vibration, from a V-twin. Although it doesn't really vibrate when it's at idle. You just kind of feel it a little bit when you're getting into, I'll show you what I mean. Or, you can still kind of feel that. You got cruise control, on and off, set, all that stuff. You also have a gear indicator. You also have a legit fuel gauge. These things are pretty powerful. I mean, they get out of their own way. They're not winning any races, but you know, compared to the competition, they're right up there with everyone else. So nothing to detract or add to it. Although we are going to do a 0 to 60 run and see how it really compares in a real life 0 to 60. If I had to guess, I'm going to go with 5 seconds. And I think I can get there without shifting in the third, if I had to guess. The only issue I've ever heard about these bikes was that the earlier ones had just got hot. They got hot inside here. I've never noticed it. Maybe it's I haven't been on a big ride. Maybe it's not where my legs really sit. You know, maybe shorter guys. I don't know. Whatever it is, some guys would notice that, and what they would do is they put like a heat shield on there, and then sometimes they even have a little fan that they would put inside there to disperse the heat. That's the only complaint I've really ever heard about this bike. Between this, the Nomad, the Vaquero, the Classic. I like how this bike has a big old fat front tire. I think that really helps with the way it just handles and throws into the corners. Now I'd say the gearbox it feels lighter than like a Victory or the big Kawasaki's. It just, you know, it kind of taps in lighter, but it does kind of have that, you know, from first to second, it does kind of have that that clunky feeling like the Kawasaki's also have. No, not Kawasaki. I'm thinking Suzuki. It does kind of have that clunky feeling like the Suzuki's have, but it's not as bad. But every other gear pops in perfectly. All right, let's jump on the highway. Let's do that 0 to 60. Let's see what this thing's really got. Brakes feel great. And I guess a part of why it feels a little clunky going from first to second is because they make it so easy to find neutral. A lot of times when the bike just pops first to second, no problem, then you have a little bit of trouble finding neutral. Right there. As you can see, this thing that was quicker than I thought. If I had to guess, I think I'm sub 5 seconds with that. Let's try the cruise control. All right, so 6th gear is, of course, an overdrive. And honestly, going like highway speeds, I almost feel like I feel just as good in 5th. Let's turn the cruise control on. Let's set the cruise control. Bam. It's nice if you want to text, you know, set a cruise control, and then you have 2 hands. You got 2 hands that you can text back and forth. Or, you know, if you have to like punch off a mirror because some guy made you mad, you know, cruise control is very handy. I am joking about those last 2 or 3 things. Do not text and drive. Do not be punching people's mirrors off when they make you mad. That kind of makes all bikers look bad. If you got a problem with someone, pull the bike over and fight them like a man. I'm joking. Just don't fight anyone. Sue them like an American. I'm just, all right. So, if we want to, how do we step it up a little bit? If you can push the button this way, and you can just increase the speed. And just like any other cruise control, if when you grab the clutch or grab the brake or grab the throttle or anything, it will turn off. Now this does have the heel toe shifter, but unlike the Harley Davidsons, you can't move them independently. So it's one big U. You adjust the toe, the heel moves with it. You adjust the heel, the toe moves with it. I'm sure you could. I mean, you could definitely get it modified if you wanted to, but it's kind of a hassle. Although they seem to be at a perfect spot for a regular person wearing regular boots. Probably if I had steel toe boots, I could still tow it, and the heels feels perfect. So I like these bikes. They're very, you get a lot of bike. It's a very large bike for very little money. They're reliable. They're fun. They're good looking. I think Kawasaki really knocked it out of the park with their 1700 line. And it makes good power, and you never hear any problems with it. And it's an air-cooled motor, and got no complaints. All right, guys, that wraps it up from the test drive. Do not forget to subscribe. If you were wondering, like a lot of people are wondering, Sean, where are you getting those awesome motorcycle gloves from that are lined with Kevlar? And I'm gonna tell you, just click on the link below at bikesandbeardsgear.com, and we sell them. They're the baddest motorcycle gloves out there. We have put these things through some insane tests that we will show you in the near future. All right, guys, that wraps it up. Remember, it's not what you're riding, but where are you going.